Let's start here. The number of missing persons is expected to rise as search and rescue operations continue in KwaZulu-Natal. 341 people lost their lives and almost R1 billion worth of damages has been caused. Scores of families have been displaced, and eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is in KZN to give us the latest. Sipa, I believe you are still driving around to see exactly where you can start speaking to people. We saw those visuals of, those long queues of people waiting to get water. It seems the situation is only getting worse before it gets better.
Absolutely, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. We are driving around Amawoti. You see people in their church uniform going to church. Others are busy using their wheelbarrows and buckets here to fetch water from a burst water pipe in Inanda. Amawoti. It's really chaotic out here. People are scrambling for the most precious resource, and that is water, while you have others in their cars going to church, and they are ready to continue with their Easter weekend. But for thousands of residents of Amawoti here in Inanda, it's really a situation that is desperate. They are busy bringing their bakkies here and their containers, wheelbarrows, as well as trolleys, just to load water. This is the queue, and it keeps on growing every hour, every minute. More and more people are coming here to fetch water. It's just all over across here in Amawoti, Enanda. Others are doing their laundry here because they do not have anywhere to go. This is the only source of water that they can find and they can use. It appears to be clean, but of course authorities will be concerned about the quality of this water, because obviously it comes from a damaged pipe. It's dirty somehow. It's not conducive for drinking, but there's nothing these citizens and residents can do, because they say they've been without water for almost a week now, and they've been pleading with authorities to assist them with water tankers to provide water and other services, but they say they've been unable to get that help. As I'm doing this live interview, they say we are really desperate. We don't have water. We need water. If we can be assisted with water. It appears that right now the focus for many people in KwaZulu-Natal is water and electricity, and many people have been complaining that there is nothing much that they can do, because they need water, they need to do their laundry, they need to clean, to cook, to wash. So basically that's the situation here. Authorities saying it will take months to fix the infrastructure that has been broken, as some people have been able to wash and they are now on their way to church during this long Easter weekend. Maseko.
Well, Siphamandla, it looks like, a desperate situation with those people willing to take water basically from anywhere. It is a humanitarian crisis, but Umgeni Water, which is the biggest supplier of water in many of those areas, what are they saying? I mean, they already had problems before this natural disaster, and now I believe this takes them 10 steps back.
Absolutely, not only for the water board Umgeni, but the Department of Water as a whole in the country will have to struggle with this situation, because you need to repair the infrastructure here. The water boards can do so much. They have been struggling before this disaster. The issue of water challenges in KwaZulu-Natal is not something new, and it's not something that has been caused by the floods. It's been happening for a very long time. If you check in terms of service delivery protests, many people have been protesting, burning tires, complaining about water issues in KwaZulu-Natal. So water boards, be it Umgeni Water and Umhlatuze and other water boards, will continue to struggle during these floods, because they will need now to rebuild the damaged infrastructure, and they will need resources to ensure that at least they are able to supply many people with water across KwaZulu-Natal.
Have you seen anything, Siphamandla, in terms of those trucks with water tankers that, of course, we were promised when the president arrived in KZN? I think it was Wednesday. There were promises made to residents of KZN that there would be trucks with water tankers going to them, at certain periods so that they can get water. Have you spotted any of that? Because, I mean, this desperation we're seeing on TV now says the water tankers haven't reached this particular community.
I personally have not seen water tankers. I've interviewed people in Emawoti and who have said they have not seen those water tankers. They are saying for now that's what they are looking for. Yesterday I spoke to the deputy mayor of eThekwini, that is Pilani Godfrey Mavundla, who told me that they are working hard to ensure that those water tankers deliver water to the people. But he was saying even the challenge now is that the water tankers themselves, where are they going to find water? Because there is no infrastructure, there are no roads to get through. He was saying to me most of those water tankers are queuing, waiting to collect water, and now they are struggling to access some of the areas where they pick up water to send it to the locals. So the challenge is bigger than the unavailability of water tankers, is the issue of damaged infrastructure as well, because those water tankers are queuing to fetch water, but there are no roads to cross, there are no bridges, and most of the pipes and the water infrastructure is damaged. So it's a bigger crisis.
Talking about the damage, Siphamandla, I mean, I think a lot of people have been afraid to drive to Durban. Yesterday, you were telling me that about 30,000, I think you said, people have cancelled their holidays for this long weekend to Durban. We're hearing of areas such as Umhlanga being affected as well. I mean, that is quite lucrative in terms of business in KZN, tourism business in KZN. No water, no electricity there, so it's quite widespread.
Widespread across the province. Yes, eThekwini is the hardest hit, but if you go to the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, you also go to Mkungundlovu district, Umzinyati district, Uku, as far as Herikwala district. The entire province is badly affected. Tourism will take a knock because many people would not want to travel to where there is no water, electricity, and connection and connectivity. Many people are still struggling with cell phone network and signal. They are unable to access those services. So tourists wouldn't want to travel to a hardship area, if we can call it that. If you will not have water to bath, you will not enjoy your holiday. You can't go to your favorite holiday destinations and tourism spots in eThekwini, because you can see the lady there with a small gas cylinder there. She's saying there is no water, there is no electricity, and that will not be good news for tourists. So the entire province of KwaZulu-Natal will experience a situation whereby holiday makers will cancel their trips to KwaZulu-Natal, even though the Premier of the province, Sihle Zikalala, has been encouraging people here to come and visit the province. You can see people are using taxis to load water now because there is nothing they can do. They are really desperate. So this Easter weekend will be a very difficult one for the province of KwaZulu-Natal in terms of tourism and the economy. Remember, the province was still trying to recover from the 2017 floods, 2019 and the 2021 July unrest, and now you have this disaster that has claimed more than 340 lives, and there are fears that more and more people could die as more are still missing.
And Sipa, just as part of our conversation right now about KZN overall yesterday, just to bring you and the viewers, just to give you a picture from where I am, you'd be able to give us a better picture because you are in KZN. I spoke to somebody from a funeral association, a funeral parlor association, who says that they have such a huge backlog because of the 300 plus deaths, plus the fact that some municipalities have asked family members to postpone funerals for this weekend because of access to roads, etc., and also because of the fact that they were expecting wet weather this weekend. So I imagine, I don't know what you can tell me, because you are there on the ground and you're seeing what's happening in terms of how this is affecting everything in that province.
It's not looking good. Imagine if you have a funeral to prepare for, how are the mortuary vans going to take the body to your homestead? That's the challenge now, to say they are willing to continue with funeral services over this weekend, but there are no roads in some areas and there are no bridges. It will be a struggle to transport bodies back to their loved ones so that they can bury their loved ones. So for the funeral parlor industry and services, the mortuary services, they are really struggling with this, because you will have bodies piling up because they need to store those bodies up until at least they are able to transport them back to their loved ones for burial. So it's not really looking good. Also bearing in mind that more and more bodies are being recovered or discovered across KwaZulu-Natal, because many people are still missing. So some people will be able to have funerals this coming weekend, but others won't be able to do so because of the infrastructure challenges, roads and bridges. But most importantly, if you have to do a post-mortem, it will take time to conduct post-mortems in most of the bodies that are in mortuaries, so that a death certificate can be issued out and family members will be able to bury their loved ones.
Siphamandla Goge, quite a heartbreaking picture that we're painting for KZN, really a humanitarian crisis. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge giving us information there on that area in KZN where there's no access to water or electricity for almost a week now because of the deadly flood.